The story begins by introducing us to a man named Wade, who is a worker. He lives with his girlfriend and his son. Wade is very happy with his family. And one night, while he was sleeping, suddenly he hears a noise that wakes him up. He also wakes up his girlfriend from her sleep, and tells her that maybe someone has entered our house. After that, he goes to his son's room, finding him safe. He tells his girlfriend to stay there and he goes outside to see the man who forcefully entered their house. Maybe he's a thief. And when Wade is searching for him inside his house, suddenly the man attacks him from behind and runs away from there. Wade grabs a baseball bat and starts chasing him. To catch him, he hits him on his head with the baseball bat, causing the man to fall right there. The man dies instantly due to head injuries. Upon seeing this, Wade gets scared. Later on, the police also arrive here. The police check if the man had stolen anything from Wade's house, but they come to know that the man did not steal anything from Wade's house. The police officer tells Wade that he has attacked him outside his house, which will not go in his favor. Actually, that man had already reached the lawn of the house while running away. Although, Wade and his girlfriend try to convince the police, but the police cannot believe them until they have some evidence. Because of this, Wade is sent to jail, where on the first day, none of the inmates behave well with him. One of the inmates even hits him. Additionally, none of the inmates in his cell talk to him properly. The following day, Wade's lawyer arrives and informs him that he's charged with murder case, because the man he hit neither he was inside his house nor had he stolen anything from there, nor did he possess any weapon. Therefore, the case isn't in his favor. Because of this, Wade might face a fine of $1 million and several years of imprisonment. However, she assures Wade that she will still strive to secure his release. After a few days, the lawyer comes to him again and says, "I tried my best to save you in every possible way, but I couldn't find any way out. Now, the only option left for you is to plead guilty to your crime in front of the judge in court. This might reduce your sentence." The following day, Wade is presented in court in front of the judge, where he admits to his crime. Although he didn't commit the crime, he had hit the man who forcefully entered his house, but now, he has no other way out. After admitting to the crime, Wade is sentenced to 3 years in prison. Later on, he is being taken to a larger jail in a bus along with other inmates, where he will spend the next 3 years of his life. However, in the same bus, there was a leader of a local gang who fatally stabs another inmate with a knife. He then hands over that knife to another inmate named Jack, who happens to be sitting behind Wade. Fearing for his life, Jack hides the knife under Wade's seat and warns him not to tell anyone about it, or else Wade will also be killed in jail. Upon hearing this, Wade becomes extremely frightened, and within a few moments, police arrive there. They find that knife under Wade's seat, and because of this, he is summoned for investigation. Lieutenant asks him several questions, but Wade refuses to cooperate and doesn't answer their questions, because if he says anything against anyone, he might also be killed. Now, because he didn't answer Lieutenant's questions, he is sent to the section of the jail where very ruthless inmates are kept, those who are either serving life sentences or will have been sentenced to death by hanging. Here, all the inmates are kept locked up for 23 hours a day and are only let out for 1 hour. Additionally, for 3 months, no one is allowed to meet the inmates here. One day, Wade is brought to a large hall where many inmates are present. 2 inmates are fighting amongst themselves, and no one is stopping them. Lieutenant and the rest of the staff are enjoying their fight. They are placing bets on their victory or defeat. And, when they decide to stop the fight, they use rubber bullets to restrain them. Now, when their fight ends, one inmate is seen verbally abusing Lieutenant because he has been subjected to a lot of torture here. In response, Lieutenant takes him to a room and beats him severely. Wade has been here for 3 months now. After 3 months, his girlfriend comes to meet him. When she sees Wade, she becomes very emotional because they were engaged and they were about to get married soon. But now, everything has changed. She tells Wade, "We've run out of money." Wade suggests, "You should sell our house to get some money." The following day, a new inmate named John arrives in Wade's cell. He is serving a life sentence because he set fire to the previous jail. John is a solitary figure in the world. He doesn't have anyone in this world. He tells Wade that what he desires will happen here. Wade silently accepts his words because he doesn't want to fight or argue with anyone, because he is not a criminal. The following day, Wade is once again taken to the same hall where inmates fight amongst themselves. Here, he encounters Jack, who had hidden the knife under his seat. Jack tells him, "Our gang leader is very pleased with you because you didn't testify against him." The new inmate John is highly respected here because he has been in jail for many years. He has been transferred from one jail to another over the years. After returning to their cell, John shares with Wade a wealth of insights on how to navigate a good life in jail. The next day, John, Wade and the other inmates are once again taken to the same hall where a fight breaks out, this time between Wade and another inmate. The other inmate gains the upper hand over Wade initially, but Wade manages to turn the tables quickly. Wade starts brutally beating him up. Seeing this, a guard prepares to shoot Wade with rubber bullets, but Lieutenant stops him from doing so. Instead, he takes the gun and shoots at the inmate, whom Wade was attacking. Wade doesn't understand anything, why Lieutenant shot his opponent. Later, John explains to him that all the rules here are set by the lieutenant and the guards. Now, because many inmates are getting injured in the jail, an inspector comes to inspect the jail. He asks about the reason behind the injuries, why there are so many fights among the inmates. Lieutenant says he will try to bring peace to the jail. The following day, Wade's girlfriend and his son come to meet him. Wade is very happy to see them, but he is concerned as their financial condition has deteriorated significantly. Wade says to his girlfriend, "Sell the house as soon as possible. After coming out of jail, I will sort everything out." The following day, Jack calls out Wade for a fight, but Wade refuses to engage. Following this, Jack and his companion attack him. John tries to help Wade, but Jack and his associates outnumber them significantly, so the guards have to intervene by using tear gas to stop the fight. Afterward, the local gang leader summons Wade, against whom Wade hadn't testified. Jack informs the gang leader that Wade had disobeyed him. In response, the local gang leader signals his men, those who then proceed to attack Jack, resulting in Jack's demise. After that, he says to Wade, "Why don't you join our gang?" Wade responds, "I'll think about it." Upon returning to the cell, Wade asks to John about it. John says, "You should heed the words of that local gang leader because their authority reigns in jail. If you stay with them, you'll be safe." Meanwhile, Lieutenant and Sergeant are shown. They have gone to watch their children's baseball match. Sergeant tells Lieutenant that whatever atrocities we commit in jail, we shouldn't risk our jobs because of this. But Lieutenant doesn't care about his words, he wants to run the jail according to his laws. The following day, Wade's girlfriend comes to meet him again. She says, "I've sold our house, but now, we're out of money. We're going through extreme poverty." Upon hearing this, Wade becomes distressed. The following day, a new inmate arrives in the jail and he attacks Wade. But Wade doesn't want to fight with him. Seeing this, the lieutenant gets angry. He shoots at Wade, and injuring him. Lieutenant then approaches Wade and asks him, "There was a murder in the car you were brought to jail in. Tell me, who did it?" Actually, Lieutenant is aware that the local gang leader is behind this incident, but he needs evidence. However, Wade's refusal to testify against the gang leader infuriates Lieutenant. In his anger, Lieutenant pins the blame on Wade, leading to an extension of Wade's sentence to 3 years. The next day, Wade receives a letter from his girlfriend informing him that she is breaking up with him. She explains that her financial situation is extremely dire, and she's going through a lot of struggle. After receiving this letter, Wade completely falls apart, and the following day, he attacks several inmates, and severely injuring them. John advises him to control his anger. Meanwhile, Wade's girlfriend, who had been staying at her mom's house, begins preparations to move out. Wade's son asks where they are going and why they aren't keeping their dad's belongings. She informs him, "We won't be staying with your dad anymore." Wade's son, who deeply loves his father, he responds, "I can't live without dad." Upon hearing this, Wade's girlfriend also realizes how much she loves Wade. So, the following day, she goes to meet Wade again and asks for forgiveness, saying she'll wait for him until he's out of jail. Upon hearing this, Wade is overjoyed, and he also informs John of this development. Afterwards, John and Wade decide that they will expose all illegal fights that happen in jail, so that the higher authorities know that Lieutenant orchestrates illegal fights in jail. Later on, Wade goes to Lieutenant and says that he wants to fight with an inmate, who is very dangerous. Lieutenant agrees with that, but he sets a condition that the fight won't end until one of them is dead. However, Wade accepts this condition. The next day, he calls his girlfriend to meet him, and instructs her to meet an officer named Gordon, who is investigating the ongoing abuses here, and tells him everything about the ongoing abuses happening here, and bring him here after 1 day. Gordon will also bring the investigation officer along here. His girlfriend agrees with him, and the next day, there is a fight between Wade and another prisoner here. Wade beats him badly and knocks him unconscious. And now, that moment has come when he has to kill his opponent, as Lieutenant had demanded. But Wade refuses to kill him, which infuriates Lieutenant. He wants to shoot Wade, but just then John comes and stands in front of Wade. Lieutenant tells him to back off. But, one by one, all the prisoners come in front of him. In a fit of rage, Lieutenant now wants to kill everyone, but the sergeant prohibits him from doing so. Afterwards, they send all these prisoners back to their cells one by one. When Wade and John reach their cell, a guard comes and tells them that they have to go back to the same place where the fight happened. Both of them go there, and they are made to lie down on the ground. Then, Lieutenant comes there, who wants to kill both of them. Some guards here are against Lieutenant, so one of the guards quietly turns on the surveillance camera there, so that the entire incident is recorded on video. Now, Lieutenant steps in and approaches Wade. He is about to kill him, but, just then John, who has a concealed weapon, he attacks Lieutenant and injures him. When the guard outside sees this, he fires at John. Wade now wants to attack Lieutenant, but John stops him and saying, "You shouldn't do anything now." In the meantime, Gordon and the investigation officer have also arrived here. They investigate everything here, and they find out what Lieutenant was doing here. However, both Lieutenant and John have died now. The officers also find the recorded cassette, which reveals that Wade is not a professional criminal. Therefore, they understand that Wade's sentence of 3 years was increased because of the murder that happened in the car he was in. He has nothing to do with that murder. The officers realize that Wade was completely innocent, so they waived his 3-year sentence. By now, Wade has spent 15 months in this jail, with another 15 months remaining on his sentence. Wade peacefully spends these months here. Now, there are no fights or injustices towards any prisoner in this jail, and all this happened because of John and Wade. After peacefully spending 15 months in jail, Wade is finally released. He reunites with his girlfriend and son, his heart brimming with joy at being reunited with his family. And with that, this story come to an end. So friends, we hope you enjoyed the story.